remember the very first time my son made a basket. We're out at the beach. He was 2 years old, and he's wearing his and one sneakers and his little, basketball shorts. And he chucked up a shot. The ball was almost bigger than he was, and he made the shot. And I was so proud as a father. I think I was more excited than he was. I think he only got excited because he saw how excited I was at the fact that he made the shot. And I couldn't stop telling everybody. 2 years old, he made his first basket. So I say all that to say this. This is Nigel. I am right, voice CEO and gratitude champion. And welcome to a Gratitude Friday edition of Right Thoughts at 4 a.m., where I'm talking about hoop dreams. So you heard a little bit about my first experience with my son making his first basket as a proud dad. And I got the opportunity, first of all, I'm super excited to make this because I got the opportunity to just spend some time just chatting with my son yesterday, and we got out on the court for the first time in probably years to just shoot some hoops. Didn't do too well, a lot of bricks for my part, but I did make 4 in a row, which was kind of cool. But the importance of, what I'm about to say is really about being grateful for what you have. And you know me, the gratitude champion, I'm always exploring and acknowledging the opportunities that we have and the abundance we have in our lives, even though things may not be going according to plan. And while none of that experience on the basketball court was planned out, it came at the perfect time. It was good to take a break, from the mic, from the computer, from the recording, from all those things. And I imagine for him as well, because we were talking for a while, and he was like, you want to go shoot hoops? And then we kind of went out. And just as we're, putting some baskets in, we were just talking about, life. And I always learn so much from my son in terms of just his perspective as a young man and how it contrasts from when I grew up. And you think about what you're doing every day and how you're impacting or not impacting other people's lives with the things that you do, the examples you set. And as my mom always taught me, more is caught than is taught. So whether it's a father-son relationship or a father-daughter or a mother-daughter, mother-son, or employer-employee, manager, team member, your behavior is being watched. It's being observed. Not everybody pays attention with the same level of detail, but the fact is it's always happening unconsciously, much of the time. But for those of us who actually pay attention, it's always very telling. You're much more likely to find where there's things that you align with and things that you don't, and where, items are falling short. And I think this is particularly important in all the things that we do, especially if we are leaders in our space. And by leaders, I mean leaders of teams, leaders of companies, CEOs, ethics officers, whatever the case may be. Because those things are being watched. They're being processed. And decisions are being made on that data. So there's an important factor that comes in all of this. What I loved the most about yesterday, other than just being the opportunity to take a break, as I said before, is what I've learned. I learned about the importance of information and also the importance of questioning the source of the data that we're getting. Unfortunately, one of the most difficult things I'm discovering that we have that causes massive amounts of problems in humans is honesty. And I'm not saying honesty as, to point a finger at a negative saying this person is dishonest. It's probably more likely trust is the better word. If we don't trust each other enough to speak the truth, then it's going to be difficult for us to make any decisions that are based on what it is we really need at the time, or what it is that's going to make the most advance the conversation the most. It allows us to feel to have empathy for particular situations, to make decisions based on real data. Because if you have bad data, as you know, we talk about a lot in AI, if you have bad data, the likelihood of you making bad decisions is high. It's not going to be low, it's going to be high. And if we're not creating those safe, brave spaces to speak freely without the uh, the concern for future reprisals, then what are we doing? Now, I know for some, this may be rabble rouser ish, stirring the pot, rocking the boat, however, one might want to term it in that cliche way. But the fact of the matter is, I do not believe it makes any of what I'm saying any less true. If we cannot share and speak plainly, how can we ever get to a resolution? How can we ever get to the things that we really need in any sort of relationship? And for me, I'm just going to speak in terms of my son. Um, it One of the things that I learned, and I hope fathers and mothers take, parents take something from this is, and one of the things we talked about yesterday was I was very focused on being a parent well before my child was even conceived, both of them, both my son and my daughter, before they were even conceived. I understood that there was a finite amount of time that I'm going to have to be a certain level of influence. And anything beyond that was a gift and a blessing, like yesterday, just being out on the basketball court. Nothing's promised. And we take a lot for granted all the time. And that acknowledgement is super important. Knowing that you have a limited amount of time and you don't always have, you're not going to, or you may not always have that same opportunity, means that it's a call to action for us to do more, do the best that we can, be out in front of it. And I can't stress enough the value of just considering that. Because if it makes you do one more thing, make one more effort, move the needle that much further, just a little bit, it will all be worth it. Because the memories you fail to make, you never have the opportunity to make them again. You have the opportunity to make other memories, but not at that particular time. The time I spent, those many years ago, those 21 years ago on a basketball court on Beach 69th Street in Far Rockaway, Queens, watching my son make that first basket is a memory that will live forever. It doesn't go away. And if I never took the time and the opportunity to do that, or the time and the opportunity yesterday to spend that time, this recording wouldn't have the same foundation. So what I'm trying to say in this, I guess, long drawn out sort of way, and with this story is this: whether you're a CEO of a startup, a tech company, an ethics officer, dealing with voice diversity, or someone just trying to find their way in the world, make sure that you're setting the best possible example. Make sure you're taking the best chances and opportunities to have transparent conversations that are honest. And make sure you're creating the space for people to confide in you and have that trust so they can have those honest conversations, and make it as free from judgment as possible. Now, I'm not saying this is an easy thing because we all have our biases. I'm just saying that it's something that we should consider doing. So I hope this finds you well. I hope you're having an amazing Friday. I wish for each of you safety, health, and blessings and continued abundance with you and your family. I hope you're all doing awesome. Have a wonderful weekend. This is Nigel Wright, Voice CEO and Gratitude Champion. I would love to know what you think on this Gratitude Friday. Thank you for listening. I'm done speaking.